Hey class, Mrs. Gilling back again, and we are going to go over your Unit 3 video assignment, your project about the three branches of government. But before we do, you know what's coming, the joke of the unit. Alright, an officer, while walking his beat, sees a lady walking a skunk along the sidewalk. He says, "Hey lady, why do you have a skunk?" She says, "This is my social distancing support animal." Hey, come on, that's pretty genius. If you want people to stay 6 feet away, walk a skunk, okay? This may be a joke, but this could be a thing of the future. We may all be walking skunks pretty soon. People stay away, and you have a cool new pet. So, kudos to her for figuring this one out. All right, maybe we shouldn't all get skunks, but it is pretty funny still. And that is a pretty adorable picture of somebody walking a skunk, let's be honest. All right, enough with the skunks and social distancing. Let's talk about your project in this unit about the three branches of government. So here's the prompt. When the United States was created, the founding fathers wanted to make sure that no one person or group had too much power or control. That is why the federal government was created with three branches: the legislative, judicial, and executive. For this project, you will be creating a slideshow or writing an essay where you discuss each branch of government, their roles and responsibilities, and what might happen if that branch didn't exist. So there's a little bit of choice on this one. You're definitely going to be talking about the three branches of government, analyzing them a little bit. But you get to choose whether or not you want to write an essay or if you want to make a slideshow presentation. It's totally up to you, but here are the requirements for each of the options. So option number one is the slideshow. So you'll create a slideshow presentation where you discuss each of the branches of government. First, you need to have a title slide, and this will be worth 5 points. It's your first slide, and it's going to include your name and the title of your presentation, so pretty straightforward. Next, you'll have an introductory slide worth 15 points. This slide will let your audience know what your slideshow is about, and you will let them know your main point and the three branches of government you're going to analyze. So basically, you're saying, hey, my project is about the three branches of government, and these are the three branches of government I'm going to discuss. Then you're going to have a slide about the legislative branch worth 15 points. In this slide, you're going to discuss the legislative branch and make sure that you explain the roles of the branch, the responsibilities, and think a little bit here. What might happen if we didn't have the legislative branch? What kind of things would fall through the cracks? What might happen to the other branches if we didn't have the legislative branch? Then you're going to do the same thing, but with the executive branch. A slide worth 15 points where you talk about the roles and responsibilities and what might happen if the executive branch didn't exist. Then I skipped the judicial branch. The second one would be the judicial branch. It doesn't actually matter what order you put them in as long as you have them three. The other one is the judicial branch, where you discuss that branch and explain their roles and responsibilities and what might happen if that branch didn't exist. After that, you'll have a concluding slide worth 15 points where you remind the reader of your main idea, remind them that you were talking about the three branches of government, and you remind them about the three branches that you discussed. Then you'll have a sources slide that's worth 10 points. So for this project, I want you to do a little bit of research. Don't just rely solely on the textbook. Look at some different websites, some books maybe, whatever you want to search in, but find some information about these branches and why they're so important and what might happen if we didn't have them, and include those sources in your slideshow in the very last slide. So you'll want to have the sources slide listed in MLA format, and you need to have at least 3 different sources there in order to get the 10 points. And then your last thing that you'll be graded on is the overall appearance, right? We don't just want to have a plain white slideshow presentation. So you're going to get 10 points for picking a slideshow theme. That's where you're putting some color into your slides. You're making it fun. And you need to have at least 5 pictures in your slideshow. And you need to double check your grammar and spelling. We want things to be looking good in it, okay? So that's option number 1, the slideshow. Here's option number 2, all about your essay, if it'll go. There we go. All right, project option number 2, essay. Write a 5-paragraph essay where you discuss each of the branches of government. So you'll start with an introductory paragraph worth 15 points. In your introduction, you need to have some sort of an attention grabber. So a short story, a quote, an interesting fact, a statistic, something that's going to grab the reader's attention. Then you'll state your thesis statement, which is the main point of your essay, right? You're going to talk about the 3 branches of government. And then you're going to list your 3 main points, which are the 3 branches of government that you'll talk about. Then you're going to have 3 body paragraphs, and they're going to be worth a total of 50 points. Each one needs to discuss a different branch of the government, so you'll have 1 paragraph about the legislative branch, 1 paragraph about the judicial branch, and 1 paragraph about the executive branch. And they need to include the following: what's the role and responsibility of each branch, and what might happen if that branch didn't exist. After that, you'll have a concluding paragraph worth 15 points. That's your final paragraph that's going to sum up your essay and remind the reader of your thesis statement and your main points. You'll also need to do some research for this one, so you'll need to include at least 3 sources in MLA format. And if you don't know how to do that, guys, just reach out to me and I can give you some links on how to figure this out. And then you'll also be graded on your grammar for 10 points. Double check, especially for capitalization and spelling. That's an easy one that people get dinged on. They just, they don't capitalize things that should be capitalized, or they leave their punctuation out. So just definitely double check your grammar to make sure you get the 10 points. But that's your project for this course. If you have any questions, please let me know. But other than that, I encourage you to go complete your video assignment and get started. One last thing, you will turn this in at the end of the unit. So you're getting the information now, but right at the very end, around the time that you submit your focus notes, you will submit this assignment. All right, thanks, guys. Have a great day.